Hey, everybody, welcome to the next episode of the Strand Tennis Center podcast, filled with tips, advice, tennis, not tennis, just life advice too, whatever you need. Like it on YouTube, share it on the podcast as well. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Strand Tennis Center podcast. I guess I'll do a little weekend review or just kind of top of mind stuff. Happy that the mask mandate is off. March 7th, it was off. Very happy about that because it's been unfortunate for a lot of the students, a lot of the kids. Hard to breathe in the mask playing. I mean, we didn't have to wear a mask playing, but I feel bad for them in schools. It's tough. Can't see the teacher. Can't understand what's going on. Not the best. Very hard on the tennis court, and some were still wearing masks, which I understand. It's your choice to wear it. Very hard to breathe. Very hard to hear the coach or the student if they're wearing the mask literally 120 feet away from the pro. So it's hard to communicate. It became very frustrating and the lesson, you just can't do a quality lesson if you can't hear the student. If you can't see their facial expression or how they're reacting to it or how they feel. You know, everything is in the facial expression. If you feel like you're connecting with someone, that's what a lesson is. It's all about connection, feeling like you're reaching someone. If you can't reach them and you can't know, it's tough. Makes the lesson hard. It's nice to be able to say, okay, this is 2 years total, Santi. This is, what's today, the 10th, the 11th? 10th. 2 years, I think exactly. I think it was the 15th or the 12th we were closed. 2 years exactly. So it's nice to remember that was 2 weeks to slow the spread. Remember that? 2 weeks? Yeah. Yeah, it's 2 weeks. Where were you, Santi, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I was in bed because I had my ACL surgeries.
Oh, you were in bed. So you were out anyways.
I was out anyway.
So you're like, good, everybody's out. So it'll only be 2 weeks, and I'll be back.
Yeah.
How long was the ACL surgery? How long was the recovery?
The first one was March 3rd, and then the second one was like June something. It took it takes like a year and a half, like a year if you feel really comfortable.
So how did you do? Did you just do rehab from home during COVID when we were locked up?
I went to the what's it called? The PT. I went to the PT like twice a week, and then I did most of the stuff at the gym. So the gym was still open. You could go to the gym, and I had my own gym in the basement too. So
the gym was still open in March
of 2000. They reopened it eventually. It was like after like.
So I think it was open for like one-on-one sessions, right? It couldn't be open, right?
But I had my own stuff in the basement, like weights, and I just did like lunges
and you could do physical therapy.
Yeah,
you were allowed to do that, right?
You have to wear a mask and stuff.
Okay.
It was brutal because you're like sweating, wearing a mask, and doing stuff, and it was a hot mess.
Well, those are a lot of things you can go over and think about. You think about how, remember 2 years, I guess this is a nice little podcast because I feel like it's like officially kind of, knock on wood, like this thing is like done, so to speak, in regards to it being like total lockdown situation. But remember 2 years ago and you were like, washing your groceries and like people were spraying down groceries and you're worried about the gloves, and luckily they dismissed the service thing, which is good. They don't worry about surfaces and things like that. But it's a crazy time. It was nuts. It was like,
I remember.
Can I walk past somebody and all this crazy stuff? Good.
There was trends where people were doing like banana bread. They're like, and like, what other trends were people doing? There was just a lot of trends. Like people were happy at first,
making banana breads and cakes.
Making banana bread, doing all these things, cleaning their houses, enjoying their time off, and then slowly people started going crazy. Yeah. Like I want to leave.
It showed a couple things, right? I think it showed the value of you need a community, you need one-on-one, you need contact with humans, right? This online stuff is great. This Zoom stuff is great. I was on a few Zoom calls today. It's not as good. Like, it's great. It's a great hybrid, and I think we've developed a hybrid situation for a lot of people. A lot of our clients do hybrid things. It's a great thing. They can go to work in the office for 3 days and be out for 2. It can really translate geographically where people can live. You're going to see people live more farther away from the city if they only have to go in 1 day a week. To me, you'll still see real estate increase farther west, because if you only have to go 1 day a week, you don't have to live near a train. You'll be 2 days a week, driving in. So that's going to change a lot of things for the good, right? Online e-commerce got pushed to stuff. And then I realized, I said, hey, I'm always trying to innovate and put yourself out of business, right? You're like, well, we got to find something. What happens, if this online thing happens? What you really can't, until you get to the point where Oculus is great and no one's on their headset at home 4 hours a night. You still need space until you get virtual reality where you're playing tennis and getting a workout, though, and really, I'd say this is just me guessing, 15 years down the road, where people are just going to stay home, play tennis on their Oculus or whatever device. Apple's coming out with a device, and I think later this year, and we'll start talking to business, Apple is the brand in hardware. I think Zuckerberg is the best. He wants to go to the metaverse. That's why Facebook is called Meta, right? Because he owns Oculus. Because he's tired of Apple owning the rails and owning this damn phone where they're controlling his life. They got him by the balls. Because they changed something here. They changed the advertising thing. The opt-in, you opt out, and he's screwed. So he wants to own the rails. But the problem is Apple is the gold standard of hardware. So they're going to build something better than Oculus, and everybody's going to buy it. As soon as Apple comes out with something for the metaverse,
we're going to buy the Apple.
Yeah, we're going to buy the Apple one in 2 seconds. And Zuckerberg's like, oh my God, where do I go next? I'm screwed again. Yeah. They're going to own the rails. Apple will own the rails for the metaverse, and Zuckerberg will get screwed again. It's a big pissing contest between billionaires. I love it. So it got back to my point, say, well, boy, we may be, innovated out of this, but really, I don't think playing and doing a sport is ever going to go away physically. It just won't. No matter what, you need the communication with a human. I actually talked to a startup, I forget his name, is a good guy named Mark. He started this kind of tennis competition, like online, very similar to like Call of Duty or anything, where you're playing tennis. And I said, Mark, can I give a lesson over this? Can I communicate back with the person? He said, no, you're still playing against a computer. Like, you're still playing. So you need to get to the point where I can communicate with someone literally live, instantly, wherever they are, and give them a lesson, and it be that natural. It's going to be really hard for that to happen. The kind of the technology, and I'm not a technology buff, it's just not there yet from what I've investigated, because I like to invest in a lot of these things. For it to be like, okay, I'm going to play tennis for an hour in my house. You still need room. So we have a guy that has an Oculus here, and he put a hole in his wall when he was playing tennis in the Oculus because he still needs room. He still swings, right? Yeah. You still have the swing. You need the technology to be so you're somehow getting a workout without moving, and it's all in your head. So you still need the workout. Yeah. You still need the physical exercise. So that's where I was like, okay, this is a great example over the last 2 years of going, all this innovation, all this pushing forward, e-commerce. E-commerce was a small amount of our business 2 years ago. Not for us. I'm talking about the global business, and it's pushed a ton, but it wasn't ever like 70% people were buying on e-commerce. It's still below that. It's not as high as you think, even though it's grown a ton. And even companies like a Shopify have said, listen, it's going to start lowering, because everybody bought a Shopify account and tried to sell online when this happened. Brick and mortar stores were like, we're going to be closed and all this. And they've said it's kind of leveled off and their stock has gone down. All the stocks have gone down. I'm not an analyst. Don't worry. This is not stock advice. We're just talking. So reviewing over the last 2 years, that part of being innovated out I've been trying to find it. I've been trying to put ourselves out of business, and it's just not there yet. It's not there yet. The technology for analyzing your strokes, the technology for kind of gamification of you playing and comparing your stats to someone else is there. You can do that, which is an interesting thing. But you still need the physical court. You still need to move in the physical space. And if you want the lesson, you can do a video analysis. People do that all the time. 2 Minute Tennis is a great guy. You send them a video, he analyzes it. That's great. It's very different than when it's in real time. So you need, which would be great. The only great thing about Oculus and these things that are going to start happening is you're going to start getting Taylor Swift putting on these goggles or the contact lenses, and you're going to be able to buy a ticket to her concert, being able to see what she sees. So that is wild.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, so Taylor Swift won't just sell out her arena. She'll sell out another million to see through her eyes.
Yeah.
So if you're watching online, you'll watch her give the concert through her eyes. That's going to happen. Yeah. So I would love to have Djokovic put on a pair of contact lenses and me watch him play Wimbledon live.
Crazy.
That would be wild. Him looking around. See, that is a ticket that is huge, and that's on the high end. Like watching me give a tennis lesson, the only way that's not a big deal, but maybe if that person could put on the glasses and I can't watch their stroke from there. It's a weird sort of thing. It's got to be able to, I have to be able to see their stroke to give the lesson. So I'm trying to find the technology that says, okay, I can see their stroke. I can communicate with them live immediately, but can't seem to find that. There's that white space there that I can't seem to fill. But that is going to be a sellout to no end. If I can watch Nadal play a match through his eyes, forget it. Yeah. Put the contact lenses in, and if they're comfortable and it doesn't bother him playing a match, I mean, that's his intellectual property, right? That's him. Yeah. Like, to me, who else is it? Who's going to get a cut of that? Those are his. He could probably make an extra $100 million in the final.
Yeah. There's people watching.
Yeah. So this has become a technology show. Yeah, picture in picture.
They used to have that? Yeah.
We had a picture in picture. It would be incredible. Like, you talk about ESPN Plus. Imagine ESPN Plus going, okay, I have 4 extra courts, and then we got 3 with contact lenses in. Djokovic is playing. Yeah. Schwartzman's playing. Zverev is playing. I mean, come on. Yeah, are you kidding me?
That'd be insane.
Yeah. I mean, it would really be crazy. So that really made me, over the last 2 years, kind of check out all these technologies, kind of investigate, look at things. And the contact with human beings is still a huge thing. It's not going to be X'd out. I know you. Did you see Ready Player One? You watched that movie?
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, yeah, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good one.
That's a good one, right? So obviously you can tell everybody the concept, right? The world is basically destroyed.
Yeah.
And everyone's living in a virtual world.
Even in the slums, they have like their little room and they just put their thing on and they just go into the virtual world. They just play games and then you can lose money and bet your money and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
really cool.
It's cool. It's really cool. It's a great book. But humans need contact with humans. Unless, I mean, maybe I'm being ignorant, and I think, and I never want to be those old school guys. I think virtual reality is a key. It's happening. Augmented reality, they're all going to happen. But I think at one point, you just need the physical space to work out. I'm not talking about going and I would love not to have to travel to the pyramids and be able to see it virtually. It just saves so much more time.
But there's something different about
there is something. You're absolutely true. I'm sure there is, but maybe I won't know. Maybe you won't know the difference.
So good you won't know.
Maybe you won't know the difference between reality. It's like Inception. Is this a dream or am I awake? You know what I mean? Maybe you won't know.
I think we'll be dead before that.
It's happening faster than you think, my friend. What? You're only like 32 years old. Get out of here. Come on. It's going to happen quicker than you think. I think that could possibly happen. I still don't think you're going to be able. You're going to have to sprint and run. Again, you're not going to be able to get. I don't know how you're going to get a workout. You can run in place. I mean, but it'll probably be so good you won't know the real world from the dream world. It's
Sounds-
like Matrix
sounds
2.
scary, yeah.
Stay in Wonderland.
Let's make our own
Sunday, stay in
Matrix.
Wonderland. So that's basically what this is about. It's kind of a 2-year kind of reunion and kind of saying, got past COVID, hopefully. Everything seems to be cool. I think people need to start to calm down a little bit and live your life. Don't live your life on the edges. That's the worst way to live. You have to live your life and say, okay, there's probably a chance to everything. You're more likely to get in a car accident, knock on wood, than dying of COVID. That's just the odds of what's going on. So you have to just, because people have gotten really scared. It's amazing what they've done. They scared the hell out of everybody. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to see kids scared, and they're probably one of the safest ones out of all this. But just kind of a 2-year reunion, a little technology talk. Apple owns the brand. Just to repeat again, Apple owns the hardware, Santi. Zuckerberg is screwed. Doesn't matter. And I love, we'll talk more. Bezos is flying into space, doing all this. It's all a pissing contest against Musk and all this stuff.
Trying to take over the universe.
These guys are unbelievable. It's called Revenge of the Nerds. Don't you know that? These guys were all guys that never had any chicks and all. That's what they're all saying. And these guys are now in charge now. Zuckerberg, Bezos, all that stuff. Musk is a little cooler.
That just means be nice to the nerdy boys.
Be nice to them because they're in charge. They're going to be in charge. Something. I'm in trouble. But that's the whole theory. That's not my theory. Everybody's discussed that online. That they're basically, Zuckerberg started a social app because he wanted to meet chicks, right?
Right.
And I think Zuckerberg, they said they all had good intentions. This has become something out of his, it's gotten bigger than he ever thought it was, where people are manipulating elections and all this crap and stuff like that. He just wanted a place where he could go with a group of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. But watch what you wish for, my friend. Well, that's the Strand Tennis Center podcast this week, everybody. It is March 10th. It's getting a little nicer out. We had a little wintry mix yesterday, but I'm a weatherman now, but it's getting nicer. I love when the spring happens. Weather gets nice, a little warmer. Try to get a workout in there. Try to get some exercise. I don't care where you get it. I don't care if you go to the Strand. I don't care if you go to Rumble. I don't care where you work out. I don't care if you do a kickboxing thing. Get some sweat. It's the key. The answers are in the actions, my friend. See you later. Hey, everybody. Hope you like the podcast. Please share it with your friends. Anybody that you know, anybody that's into tennis, anybody that's into bettering themselves, share it.